My soul was broken so much to the point where I told myself, I will never let anyone belittle me like this. I will never be this weak again. Welcome back to those of you who come back. It's your girl with another video. I produce transformative faith-based content. I always trip up on this. But look, I produce transformative faith-based content here on this channel that seeks to inspire you and push you towards your walk with Christ. We're all about growth. We're all about growing in Christ Jesus. And yeah, if y'all know, I love Jesus and it is what it is. To death do us part. Hello. Anyway, so today I'm here with a different type of video, more so like a story time, but also kind of extending off of the whole growth healing journey thing that I've introduced into this channel. Because if you guys have been following me for a minute, y'all know how they used to talk about things like this. Okay, this is just a testament of the things, what God is doing with me. Okay, this is what God is like doing stuff with my life. So that's why this type of content has been introduced into this channel. But I just wanted to talk to you guys real quick story time about how I got bullied in high school. Okay, I was just thinking, I was doing some reflecting, not high school, middle school. I was doing some reflecting. I didn't realize that period of time really shifted some things for me. Okay, so let me just give y'all the story. All right, so growing up, I was always kind of like a nice girl, really like, some people would say weak, but I was always kind of like, you know, nice and open and, you know, open to like relationships and stuff like that. But looking back on it, I was really the type of child that seeked a lot of validation, right? So the bullying for me happened in middle school. That's when it got worse. Okay, so here's what happened. I moved from one town to another town, and I stayed in that town for about a year or 2 years. But within that 2 years or to a year, it was like, it was some serious breaking of my soul. When I tell you breaking of my soul, is because there was a lot of stuff that I was dealing with. You know, I was looking at other kids, wanting some of the things that they had, feeling left out, feeling less than, you know what I'm saying? Not just dealing with a lack of confidence, struggling internally with who I was as a person, you know? So I would look at the other kids and I would see them and, you know, I'd want to kind of be like them. And so what I did was, there was one girl in particular that I kind of like, you know, attached myself to, because I wanted to be like her and I liked what she looked like. So I just would follow her around, and for some time I thought we had like a friendship. I'm not even gonna hold you. I really thought me and her was good. Like I was close to her best friend, until I was noticing she had other people and she had another best friend, but she was just nice, and I felt like she was just nice enough to just tag me around. That's how I felt. And so in seeing that, I was seeking the validation of her in that friend group. And in doing so, I kind of diminished my character so much to the point where I became an easy target. And that's something I'm going to talk about more in this video. You can become an easy target when you don't know who you are. If you are somebody that walks with your head down, that's why it's so important. Like if you so happen to be a parent watching this, make sure you invest time into building up your kids' self-esteem. Because if you have a child with low self-esteem and they walk with their heads down, they become a target, because people smell that. Low self-esteem is a weakness. It's a character flaw, right? And so I kind of, you know, was seeking after her validation and attention, and also the validation and attention that came with her friend group, because she was one of like the more popular kids. And remember, I said she was pretty nice. That's the reason why I was able to like hang around with her, but her friends were not so nice. And so the bullying started there. The bullying started with her friends kind of like, you know, treating me badly. I remember this one time I was allergic to some curly fries at the school, and I ended up throwing up and going home. And so when I came back, I told them like, guys, I'm allergic to curly fries. They made me sick. And you know what one of her friends did? They took the curly fry and threw it in my face. Like you know when someone's like, oh, you're sick, and then they try to like, yeah, right, you're not sick. And she went so far as to take the curly fry and throw it in my face. That was the type of belittling nonsense that I was going through as a younger child in middle school, just because I didn't know who I was, just because I was seeking the validation of a friend group, right? And so the whole friend group thing kind of became an idol to me. And that's something that I've had to struggle with and deal with and go through. And I only thank God because he's making me better and better every day. But that's the type of humiliation. She threw it in my face, laughing at me, and I ended up breaking down. I broke down many times in that middle school, like more than once, just crying, like, oh my God, they don't like me. They're so mean, they're bullying me. I done went to the guidance counselor. I went there many times. It was just not the nicest. So this is what ended up happening. I ended up leaving that school because my parents moved. And so when I left that school, my soul was broken so much to the point where I told myself, I will never let anyone belittle me like this. I will never be this weak again. You know what I'm saying? And I really want you guys to understand what I'm talking about, because it wasn't the nicest. It was sad. It was so sad and pathetic. So I said, I will never let myself be this weak ever again. And so when I went into my next school, which I believe, it was middle school, because I moved in the middle of middle school. When I went into my next school, I picked up a characteristic that I thought was strength, and that characteristic was anger. Okay, so the thing is, the spirit of anger, I believe, was trying to find its expression in me for the longest time, but it needed a door to open so it can come in. So one thing that we need to understand is there are certain spirits that are associated with your family bloodline, or, just certain spirits that just want to attack you. What they're waiting for an open door. And one of the greatest, most amazing open doors for them to walk in through is trauma. So after that traumatic, soul-breaking experience in that last town, when I came in, the door was wide open for the spirit of anger to really come in and do its thing in my life. So I was open to it. I said, you know what? I've seen anger displayed, and it seems to me that the only people that are respected are people who are angry. So guess what? I'm going to be an angry person. I'm going to be as mean as I can. They will never catch me lacking. They will never ever catch me this week. They will never ever disrespect me ever again. And so that's what I did. I basically opened myself up to that spirit to come into me. And I remember a distinct time in which I was in school just going crazy. Like, I was banging things. I was hitting things in the bathroom. The principal was outside like, she's going nuts. I don't know what to do here. I was hitting stuff in the bathroom. Before we got to that point, mind you, any little thing the kids would say to me, I would straight up go off. I was that girl who was always fighting, and I was fighting for my life because I never wanted to feel so low and so small again like I did in the last town that I was in. And so any little thing you said, I would knuck if you buck. Let's go. We fight. I'm screaming. I'm yelling. I'm arguing, because that's what I thought. That's what will start to me as respect. That's what will start to me as, okay, people who behave like this, you don't mess with them. They have respect. They're strong people. But then now that I'm understanding things better, that's not strength. That's weakness. The Bible shows people that the Bible talks all the time about anger being associated with fools. If you look into the book of Proverbs alone, the amount of times that anger is associated with being a fool is ridiculous. And so I thought that was strength. And so that's what I picked up. I picked up that anger. I picked it up, and I was just like, you not messing with me. So it was fight after fight after fight after argument after argument after argument. My parents had to keep going back and forth to the school. It was just, and from there, the whole anger thing, it just kept going and kept going and kept going. And I just became an ugly person. I remember this one time, I was looking back at one of my, if anybody could tell you about how I was, they would say that I was the type of person that was ready to fight and always ready to always ready to talk, always ready to argue. You know what I'm saying? Like, in school, I was always ready to debate. I was always on 10. I was always on 10. And it was a defense mechanism. That's what it was, because really who I am not that mean type of person. But I was taught that I couldn't be kind. I couldn't be nice. I couldn't be soft. I had to be mean. I had to be rough. I had to be on 10 to get people to respect me. So that's what I became. I remember this one time I was talking to this girl. She had said something I didn't agree with. And I was talking to her, and then I said, "You fat ugly pig who don't know how to do makeup." I texted her, I said, "You a fat ugly pig, you don't know how to." It was just so bad. I became such an ugly girl, and I just radiated so much trauma, so much pain. Anybody around me could have seen it, you know, and it just wasn't the nicest. It wasn't the nicest at all. I'm gonna just stop the video here because I done gave y'all the whole story. But if you guys want to see, you want to hear more about what God did with that part of my life, and you know, everything else that I have to say about that, I post weekly videos. So I suggest you come back on here next week, okay, so that you can finish hearing how Jesus took a mean little girl and turned her into what you see today. And he's still continuing. He's not done. The work is not done. The work is continuing. But as the work is continuing, you know that as he's delivering me, my mouth is going to be very big and wide about it, okay? So until next time, if you have not subscribed, hold up. If you have not subscribed, subscribe, like, share, comment, share it to anybody you think would need it. Anyone that's struggling, those in school, high school, middle school, those who are struggling with bullying, etc. Share it, like, comment, subscribe, because this is the type of thing that gets the videos out there. Listen, my attitude is I'm here to infiltrate the space, okay? So help me infiltrate the space by sharing, comment, liking, and subscribing. And until next time, I'm gonna see y'all next time.